ABCs and TPBs, episode 8.
Much better. Much
yes,
better.
Thank you. I mean, when I learned the ABCs back in, I think, the first grade.
I can't remember what grade you learned those in.
Maybe even before then. Probably before. I think that's something they teach you at home. My mom was a big proponent of teaching at home. So no, I'll say that. I'll say sorry, Mom. No, I'm sorry. I learned at home with you.
Mrs. Ninja Dave, Mom, if you're listening to this, he only terribly messed up the first 3 letters of the alphabet.
Just the first 3 though. And there's at least 52 more.
Yes, exactly. That's how alphabets
52
work.
more. That's how alphabets work. So we're here on episode 8. We're covering the H's. I am your host, Ninja Dave, and my host, my co-host, my cohort in crime here, Seed,
yes.
Seedalicious.
Mm-hmm.
He has Hadrian's Wall. I have Human Target. Human Target's by Vertigo. Hadrian's Wall by Image.
Yes.
I think someone's kind of an Image fanboy over here.
I mean, I did do an entire podcast for Image's 25th anniversary.
Did you get paid on it?
I wish I did, man. I wish Image would pay me for my book.
They can pay you retroactively. Just keep beating that dead horse.
Just tweet Mr. Image.
Yes, Mr. Image.
Yeah, okay.
Bob Image.
Oh, Robert I.
Robert I. So, we got 2 books, 2 great books for you. Here in the H's, we're going to go, hey, for you guys that are really good on the alphabet, we're doing the I's next. But no, for the Human Target, this actually came out, Vertigo Comics, years back. I read you the bit, kind of the blurb on the back here. As the world's greatest impersonator, Chance makes his living by not being himself. Putting on his clients' faces and slipping into their lives, Chance is the ultimate decoy, luring out threats and then neutralizing them in near-perfect surprise. But the price for this uncanny ability is a steady eroding of his own identity, and with it, a growing disconnection from reality. So it has an interesting premise. It's a character who assumes not only just the look of his targets, but he actually assumes the persona. He gets into whoever his target's head is so thoroughly that even the people who are most intimately knowledgeable of the person can't tell the real from the impersonator. So let's just go ahead and get into thoughts about it. What did you think about this book?
No, I was not a fan of this joint at all. At all. Yeah, it hurt me to try and read this joint.
Really?
Yeah. I dipped out halfway through issue 1.
Halfway through issue 1?
Yeah, halfway through issue 1 is where it dipped out for me, man.
But that doesn't give you any kind of... I mean, you can't get a real grasp on the story if you dip out from the middle of issue 1. Tell me what you didn't like about issue 1.
All the pages that comprised issue 1.
Well, I mean, let's give our listeners some specifics.
I understand.
Let's go from page. Let's just turn this first page. Mm-hmm. All right, what's off so far?
Nothing's off here. You understand that dude's having his face unwrapped and something's happening. Mm-hmm. And then it just kind of drops you in. I guess you're supposed to suspect the bandages unwrapped might be this guy here.
Mm-hmm. Almost a Two-Face looking guy.
Almost a Two-Face.
A little Harvey Dent action.
Yeah. It kind of drops you into a world without a whole lot of context of what's going on, which is cool. I'm okay with that. But it was just a little bit too weird. It just dropped you. I can't say it dropped you too deep in. It doesn't make any sense. But it you got in there and it was just nothing made sense. Nothing. There was just weird, hard non sequiturs between things. Right. Like the people's faces weren't matching up with the names to me. I'm sure if I kept reading, things might have coalesced a little bit better.
I'm trying to see. I'm going to turn pages here and you stop me when you're like, this is where I checked out.
Okay, I'll let you know.
I'll do this. So there's this guy.
And that's where I checked out.
Right in here is where you checked out.
Wait, return one more page?
Yes, Dad, it's me.
Yeah, right about that. No, it was the page before that. This is where I checked out.
You lost.
Page 19.
Page 19 is where you gave it up. So
yeah. No, I made it this far. Yeah, because the pool shit happened, and I was just like, what the fuck is going on here? This is where about I started thinking, like, I
don't know if this is for me.
This is where I knew I wasn't going to make it. It was just how far in I was going to.
So usually the artwork carries you a little bit, but the something about the artwork you didn't agree with. Or didn't agree with you.
The artwork is decent.
Yeah.
It's the story.
The story was just so disjointed.
The story is very disjointed. Yeah, and
Okay.
I was like, this shit is kind of whack to me.
Okay.
It didn't. You know, if you're gonna just drop us in, at least tease us with a couple of answers for something here and there. If you're gonna go all weird, give us a little something. You know, let us know you're gonna answer some things. Yeah.
You couldn't. But like I say, usually, I mean, if you're reading an issue of something, you get to at least to the end of the issue to say, all right, here's the arc that they took me through. I'm trying to see here let's see here, because this has been years since I read this, and apologies to our listeners, I didn't get a chance to reread this and get fresh with it. I was hoping that my cohort might enjoy it enough to the point where I could rely on his.
I hopped on Amazon afterwards to look at reviews. One of the first reviews on there was like, too hard to follow. This made no sense.
Too hard to follow. Did you stop at the first review? Or you look at any
there's
others?
a couple of reviews that gave us some props with it. I think it was like 3.5 out of 5.
All right. Well, I will say this. This is one thing that I concretely remember from the series, because I read the entire run from this thing.
Entire Human Target run.
Yeah.
Okay.
And one thing that really stuck out to me was one of his targets turned out to be a preacher. At a church, and there was I don't remember all the specifics, but there was something going on in which the preacher was he's being targeted for assassination, and so they hired this guy to stand in for the husband, to the preacher who was married to a woman in the church, to stand in for him, and so they can get to the bottom of it and figure out who the supposed killer was, and if they did happen to kill, then the impersonator would get it, but not him. And there was a scene in which he was cozying up to the wife, and she was like, she was kind of being drawn in. She's like, wait, I gotta remind myself that you are actually not him, but you're doing a really good job of like being him. And she's like, but there are some clear lines that we're
you can't cross that line,
right? Can't cross the line because he was all in, you know.
Yeah.
So it's just that's the thing that was just so different about this story for me was I'd never seen or read anything about someone who had gone to that length to become someone else and did it on a professional level.
So he's not like the only person that knows what's going on. Like there's a small core of people who know there's a little switcheroo business going on there.
Exactly.
Right,
but they're like the only people who need to know in that situation.
No.
No.
That's
so that's one thing I enjoyed about it, and actually reading this comic, and I encourage you to try to get through it if you can, because like I say, it is, to me it was worth it.
What was I gonna say? He gets his face remade up every single.
He either has plastic surgery, or depending on the severity of it, or he uses synthetic flesh.
Okay.
To do that as well. It all depends on whatever role he's needed in. But after reading this comic, it made me think about, oddly enough, the entertainment industry, Hollywood, and looking at the relationships that all these high level and even mid level actors get into. You see, it's almost every week you see some couples breaking up or some couples getting together.
Yeah. And
you're like, why is that? Why do these people have, it seems to be a very unstable lifestyle. But when reading Human Target, it gave me that, it kind of gave me that inner look, because because it's all part of the human psyche. If you become someone else, it's difficult for those things to rub off. So that's what brought me to the conclusion that a lot of these people in Hollywood who are really great actors, really great at becoming their roles, it's difficult for them to detox and purge themselves of that roles. And so it's quite possible that these relationships that they're forming, they're one person, but then they become someone else. And so when they go back to that spouse, that girlfriend, that boyfriend, they're effectively different people. They want different things, they behave differently, and that can provide stress in those relationships. So I think that there needs to be a lot more psychic evaluation of actors, so they can in a healthy way detox from those roles for they're working on. But again, I'm straying a bit from the message of Human Target. But
I think it's an interesting look at things. I'm not sure how deep I would get into that. It would be maybe a nice correlation to see a nice correlation between who follows method acting or the people who do what who go all in. Some people just show up and act,
right, and
then when the scene's over there, it's it's right back to being them. So it'd be an interesting correlation to see maybe divorce rates to people who have chosen the method style of acting. I don't think there's anything, any like post shoot, like not relief. That's not the word I'm looking for. Like post shoot, come down. Yeah, I don't think there's anything like that. Like, this is a wrap on this is the last day for Brad Pitt, and everybody claps, and he hops in the plane and goes home.
Yeah. Or maybe there is such a thing, but it's just something that's not spoken about in circles outside of the acting sphere. Maybe they do. Hey, I'm gonna go and see a psychiatrist or go see a counselor, and then ease myself back out of this role. I don't know.
Maybe I don't know.
It's possible. It could be one of the many dark secrets of Hollywood.
No, we didn't talk about the creative team on this.
Yeah, we totally skipped over, and I do apologize. We've got Peter Milligan as the writer, so I'm imagining you're going to be sending him a stern email / tweet.
Sternly worded tweet.
Javier Pulido as the artist and original series, the designer of all the original series covers. The colorists were Lee Lowridge and Javier Rodriguez. Letterers Clem Robbins. And the Human Target, the concept itself, was created by Lynn Wine and Carmine Infantino.
The only name that sounds familiar that is Len Wein's name, and I've heard his name elsewhere. For the life of me, I can't remember where I've heard his name. Peter Milligan, I've heard too. Have you watched the show Human Target?
I have not, and to be honest, I was quite ignorant of whether it had a direct tie into this or if there was like just a weak correlation.
Yeah.
Is it based on the Vertigo comic?
I'm not sure they take the actual name. I think I'm not sure if it's more the concept.
Should I look into Google this right now?
I'll see if I can fan for a little bit while you're looking at this.
Yeah, you can fan.
My pops watched a couple episodes. Whenever I'm over there at the parents' place, he's more of a TV dude. My mom's more of a movie person. He said he watched a couple and it wasn't that bad. Matter of fact, I think he was watching a couple episodes maybe like a week and a half ago. So it was right before I looked at your ages and I saw we were doing Human Target, and he was like, "Yeah, it's not that bad a show."
Not that bad show?
Yeah.
Well, I will say this: this actually is the show based on the comic. Christopher Chance is not your ordinary run-of-the-mill security guard. He's the man hired when all else fails and normal means of protection are simply not enough. His mission is to protect his clients at all costs, and to do so, he becomes, in effect, a human target until the threat has been eliminated. With the help of his business partner, Winston, and hired gun Guerrero, Chance races against time to save his client and unravel the truth behind each job they take on. And with each mission, a little more of Chance's own dark history is revealed.
Is it Jim Caviezel that's doing this? Who is...
let me see here. More about this show.
Cast.
Can't read.
Let's take a look. Okay,
Mark
so
Valley.
It's Mark Valley. Oh, Jackie Earle Haley is on there. Rorschach from Watchmen. Okay, so it's not the joint that I was thinking of. But yeah, I knew there was a Human Target. So it only ran for what, a season? That was like 2010, 2011.
Yeah.
We need somebody out there. We need somebody out there to go find these episodes, check it out, report back to us.
Well, your dad already says that it wasn't half bad.
Yeah, he said it wasn't half bad.
Yeah. Did he say it was half good?
He did not. So you read this entire run. How many volumes, if you know off the top of your head, was this entire run?
I don't know what
like
off the top of my head. There's let me if you want to pump her again, let me find out how many.
So while Dave figures out how many volumes this is, it's something about Vertigo that I do like, and I'm not sure why, but and I'm not sure if they're still doing this because I haven't bought anything physically from Vertigo recently. But they still rock the old school page feel to it. Like, Image always has like the glossy. I think pretty much everybody that's not Vertigo has the glossy, shiny pages, which for some stories works. But Vertigo seems to always stick with that. I don't know what I want to call it, low quality stock of paper, but like that pulp, like recycled a few times feel is what I'm not sure if
Did you give it a whiff, sir?
I mean, it's did you?
Isn't that good?
Yeah, it smells like a comic, sir.
It is.
Wizard Book of the Month from February 2004.
So first appearance was in Detective Comics in 201. And let me see here. So, publication history. Man. And so it has its origins in 1953.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one's been around for quite some time.
Yeah, but
I wonder if it's purposeful. They got this low stock to have that pulpy type feel to it.
Yeah. Action Comics. You know, it'd be great if we had this information for you guys well before then. But let's see here. The Human Target the Human Target has been developed into 3 television series. Once briefly on ABC, 1992, starring Rick Springfield. Then again on Fox, starring Mark Valley for 2 seasons, 2010, 2011. So I'm still looking for
the third season.
Yeah, so it's essentially 3 seasons.
Okay, 4 seasons.
The two in the contemporary Fox stuff.
Okay.
Why is Google so difficult?
Comixology, man. That's where you go for your comic book needs.
Maybe that's what I need to do.
And that's where you need to go for your comic book needs as well, listener.
If we can chill here for a moment.
Yeah. Pay us. This episode is sponsored by Founders Breakfast Stout.
So it says 4 in the mini series, 1 final cut, and 21 issues ongoing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Word.
Collected edition. So which trade paper?
So you found it. Found it.
Volume 1 there.
Quality enough to read the entire thing.
I did.
So do you remember? Did you read it and you got to the end of this first volume and you're like, oh, I'm all in, or was it just you're like, okay, let me see what 2 is about?
No, I was all in to begin with. Okay. So I just kept that momentum. It didn't let me down.
All right.
And I recall being satisfied with the ending of it.
Well, I'll be damned.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. I mean, you're welcome to hold on to it if you want to try to get through.
That's a hard pass on me.
It's hard pass? Hard pass.
Yeah, that's a hard pass on me.
He's like, this is so confusing. I don't want to deal with it. Yeah. Well, I told Jill and my daughter, Julian, that we were reviewing these 2 books, and I said, hey, we're doing Hadrian's Wall and Human Target. She's like, I've read neither of those. I said, well, I can read Human Target. She's like, well, I haven't read the other one either. I was like, well, that one's Daryl's. I'll let him get that back to him. I do think she might have a better time with Hadrian's Wall, but we'll get to Hadrian's Wall in a moment. Any ending comments about it, sir?
Ending comments? No, not really. The premise, I just wish they'd. I like the premise. I just wish they'd have approached the actual execution better.
You want your storytelling a little more linear?
Yeah, in this instance, I mean, if you're gonna tell a story that's not quite all stitched together in the same way, cool. Just make sure it still has some kind of narrative flow that actually makes sense.
So his damaged psyche, where it's kept pieces everywhere. It didn't really. In having it presented to you in such a way, it felt as disjointed and disorienting. I think that was kind of the point they were going for, but
I think they leaned far too hard into that point. Yeah, far too hard into that. Yeah. You gotta make sure that shit at least flows and makes sense. If you're gonna have something like, hard cuts like that, and you're going for some purposeful obfuscation, you still got to make sure that it's followable and enjoyable enough for people to keep going on. And for me, it just wasn't.
Fair enough.
And your final thoughts there?
Oh, I enjoyed it. I recommend anyone who's listening to ignore my obvious ignorance of this, because I didn't get a chance to reread this before this podcast episode. We're dedicated to consistency, people. We want to get this stuff out for you guys to listen to week after week. All 5 of you, we know appreciate listening. So we just want to make sure that we get this stuff to you. But yeah, I encourage you to check out Human Target. There's probably a sale on Comixology. It can't be much.
It can't be much. There's Wizards book of the month from 2004.
Right.
Chances are it was like about $1.99 an issue.
Is Wizards still even publishing anything anymore?
Wizards hasn't published anything. And man, if I won the lottery, one of the things I would do is bring back Wizard magazine. And I don't mean just bring back the magazine. I mean, I'm finding the original people. I'm giving them salary, and I'm like, this is yours. Resurrected from the ground up.
Now, would you in bringing back Wizard, would you eliminate the comics rating system?
The comics rating system?
Yeah, because they had at the end of each book they had, hey, here's how much these books are worth. So they had a
oh, you mean not the rating, but like
the price
pricing, the price guide.
Yeah,
yeah, because there's just too much out there now.
Yeah,
there's just too much out there. You can cut that, fill it with a little bit more article, a little bit more content. They always say Wizard was always a good balance of informative and funny.
Yeah,
that's why I always liked it. Yeah, you got to bring back Casting Call. I mean, that's why.
Yeah, and the toy theater.
The toy theater was always dope. They always had some good interviews, some good op-eds and editorial pieces and all that kind of good stuff, man. The letter from the editor was always interesting and good to read. It was just a solid. I got a couple in my
I still got a stack. I couldn't bring myself to throw them away.
I looked that up on eBay a while back, and there's a dude who was like 15, 16. I mean, he's asked for like $150, and I was like, nah. I think that's it for this first half.
That's it for this first half.
All right then. Well, we will be back.
We'll be back with Hadrian's Wall.
Rightio! Harley, you loot the safe while the boys and I set up.
Right away, Mr. J.
When the cops show, stall them for a while. Nothing too fancy. Just keep them busy until Bats gets here. Got it?
Sure, boss.
Any questions, Murph?
No, sir.
Good man. And if Batman hasn't really gone to his final reward, we'll see that he gets there.
And we are back. We are back with ABC's and TPBs, man. We are on the second H segment, man.
What the H?
Depending on who you ask, it's either Hadrian's Wall or Hadrian's Wall. Now, you're a long A with the Hadrian's Wall. I'm a short A with the Hadrian's Wall. Right. Something else we need to put out to you, the listeners. Is it Hadrian or is it Hadrian? We need to figure this shit out. I tweeted Kyle Higgins, the author of this little bit of business.
Right. Was he a little busy?
Nothing in recent.
a little busy. Too busy being awesome.
Too busy being awesome.
I'll just say this. I'll say this, ladies. The A is not the only thing I'm long in. Oh,
Jesus.
Sure, if he helps.
Hadrian's Wall is an Image Comics joint, man, written by Kyle Higgins. The art is by Alec. I can't remember his name. Alec Siegel. Rod Rees or Rice. I'm sorry, Alec was also part of the story. Rod Rees was the art, and there's some additional art by Eduardo Ferragato. Yeah, sorry. Letters by Troy Thierry. Rich Bloom on the design. Matt Idelson is the editor of this, and Rod also did the covers, man. This is pretty much Murder on the Orient Express in space.
It is kind of murder. But there's some more things. You want to read some of the blurb?
All right, yeah. That's a little quick blurb. In 1985, tensions between the U.S. and Soviet Union culminate with nuclear detonations in both NYC and Moscow. In the decades afterwards, two superpowers.
Moscow. That's whatever.
In the decades after, two superpowers found peace through a partnership focused on colonizing space. But now, 100 years later, a new Cold War simmers between Earth and their biggest colony on Theta. An astronaut, Edward Madigan, dies. Aboard the survey ship Hadrian's Wall, and a pill-popping detective, Simon Moore, is dispatched to investigate. And Simon initially takes the case his way despite his ex-wife. Simon quickly learns that Ed's death was no accident. Threatens to turn the Cold War red hot. It's a locked room murder mystery. Only instead of a room, it's a space station, man. What were your overall thoughts on this bit of business?
Overall, I loved it, man.
Yeah,
I was pleasantly surprised. I was initially because I had a little bit of a roller coaster. First, it was kind of, I saw the cover. I was like, I saw the image, and then I started flipping through some of the pages, and I was like, not the splash page with the ship, because all the splash shots are awesome. Some of these things, some of the pages seem to have some slightly inconsistent art. But as I read through the story, I saw that there was a reason for that. So we'll get that later. But so it was an initial and then I flipped through and saw some of the artwork. I was like, but then I started reading it and I was like, it was all guttural.
All right, all guttural.
It's just sounds. I couldn't really form words.
I dig it.
But no, I was pleasantly surprised because the art wasn't my favorite thing about it. Even though the art was pretty solid, but the story, the dialogue, the way things were handled, it worked.
Okay.
It worked extremely well for me.
That's so strange because I think I've mentioned this before on this show, and one thing that Image is great at, anything that Image is great at digitally, I can't remember the last time I bought a physical Image single issue. But Marvel and DC put all their fucking ads in between the story, which takes you out of the story for a damn McDonald's ad or something like that. Right. Image puts all their ads in the back. Well, at least digitally. I'm not sure how it goes physically. And it was just one of those joints where I was reading something and I got to the end, kept swiping to see what was what. That's how I found Copperhead. That's how I found Bitch Planet. That's how I found Hadrians Wall. That's how I found Descender. All because it just had something at the back of an Image joint that I was reading. I was like,
do you think it's a good play because the Image crafts story so well that when you finish the story, you're like, I want to keep reading. I want to see what else these guys are up to, and then you just keep going.
Usually if I get to the end of a joint, I'll swipe through the letters real quick, and then I'll
swipe right.
A little swipe right, and I give it extra 1 or 2 swipes, and that's where the ads are, and I'm like, okay. And this is a joint. I was like, that's kind of interesting, and I think I saw I was already on the hunt for it when it came out. I knew about it when it came out. The first issue dropped, and I looked at it digitally. I think physically. Looked at it physically at the store. And I was like, holy shit, this art is amazing. And I can tell it's all digitized art. There's nothing hand-drawn about this. It was all done on the computer. Didn't care one bit. Ran home, bought the first issue. Yeah. Loved it immediately.
That's one thing that stuck out to me as well. When I was thumbing through it initially, I was like, well, this is all digital stuff. Which, I have no problem with it if it's done well. But in the sense of this story, it served the story effectively. Tell the listeners what it was about.
So it starts off with the death that will drive this entire story. Astronauts floating in space, unconscious. He wakes up at the first crack of his visor of his space helmet. Immediately,
we don't know that he's unconscious though.
Don't know. Yeah, he could have been asleep for all we know.
You don't know, or maybe he just has his eyes closed, getting his mental ready for the
that first crack happens, eyes pop wide open, and then the integrity of that shield just fails utterly, and then that's a wrap on that dude.
Humans cannot breathe in space still.
Oh, okay. Exposed. Yeah, humans still haven't evolved that far.
Still, 120 years. We got some time, but
so and it all goes there. So they. Dude who works for Antares, which is the company that's hired these people out to do a little bit of mining. That's pretty much what this is. They go to planets and they see what valuable elements they might have to mine and process. The company hires Simon Moore, who is the main character of this joint, to investigate this guy's death. Now, that's where things get a little bit wonky in this whole web of shit, because the guy that died is the husband of Simon's ex-wife. I think is the easiest way to put that.
Well, former best friend,
former boss,
former boss, former best friend.
So it's a little bit of a
conflict of interest.
And the split between Simon and Annabelle, who was his ex-wife, was not a mutual split. It was not a good one. It got quite ugly, which ended up resulting in Edward, being the guy who dies at the very beginning, the new husband, shooting Simon 4 times. So that's kind of where their friendship officially ended at, one could say. So that is a further layer upon things, and Simon had to recuperate from this. He might have a little bit of issues with the painkillers that he takes for this.
He's going through painkillers like he's just like sucking down Tic Tacs, man.
Pretty much.
Not the wintergreen ones. I'm talking about the cinnamon red hot.
Yeah. The good Tic Tacs. Nobody fucks about the winter.
No. That sits on the shelf. That sits in your grandmama's purse.
But then next to the red strawberry candy.
Right, exactly. And all just fuses into one piece.
Wintergreen strawberries is what comes out of that.
Yeah. It's not good. Not a good look.
So we got a pill popping dude who's investigating the death of his ex-wife's new husband. Mm-hmm. And that kind of sets the stage from there on out. Now, my question to you is, sir, it doesn't stay just a locked room murder mystery. It evolves into something else. Mm-hmm. And I know for a few people, that's what took them out of the story. Is that something that had a negative effect for you?
It didn't have a negative effect. It's it actually... It gave, because we're reaching almost, I won't say 0 hour, but reaching the end of this book. And by the way, I didn't know that this was a self-contained story until I got to the end. I was like, well, where else could they go with this? But then they wrapped it up nicely. I was good. I was satisfied with that. But yeah, there's another element that's introduced into it, and it seems like it kind of meets, Turbo Kid / Mad Max, that kind of dystopian stuff that kind of goes sideways in that kind of realm. And I'm like, well, we are teased with I won't say Titanites, not Tesla, the other Thetans, yes, the Thetans. We're teased with the idea of the Thetans and what have you. I'm like, well, we finally get a chance to see what the Thetans are kind of about.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I sent you some shots.
You did.
Some screenshots of my favorite panels. But yeah, and like I said, I'm sure someone's going to be cosplaying that captain somewhere.
You talking about the Asian dude?
No, the captain. The captain of the Thetans. The
Thetan
Raiders.
With the purple hair?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's pretty dope, right?
She's hot, man. She's hot.
Pretty dope.
She's got where it counts.
I was saying on Twitter, it might have even been yesterday, Annabelle, character of Grenada, that if they ever made a live action movie out of this, the only person that can play Annabelle is Jessica Chastain. This was
I'm gonna Google who that is.
Yeah, people in your no movie having asses.
I mean,
So is there any?
all actually look the same to me. Jessica Chastain. Wait a minute. Is this Chesty Chastain we're talking about? The one up from Mad Men?
No, that's not Jessica Chastain. That's Christina Hendricks.
See,
different redhead, sir.
There you go. See, y'all look the same to me.
They're terrible. Is there anything?
I'm looking at her now. I'm like, she looks like the other one, but
no, she doesn't. Not even in this.
Well, okay, well, tomato.
No, she doesn't.
We'll agree to disagree.
Yeah, you're terrible. Is there anything about this you didn't like? What negatives were there for you? And if you hear that in the background, it's because it just started raining like a mofo.
Well, I mean, this is Charlotte, so they know what to expect. There's going to be a windstorm, a blizzard. Well, it's anything. Anything I didn't like about it? No, I don't think there's anything I didn't like, because there were a lot of things I was expecting to be kind of I expected some things to be very stereotypical, or like a lot of the storied beats.
Yeah.
But and even when it started out, he had the whole silhouetted trench coat kind of deal going on.
Yeah.
But even the things that were, I guess you would say, it would be essential to this Murder on the Orient style, it was handled very well, or it had a slight tweak that kept it fresh and something a little bit different to the element. So, no, I can't say that there's anything I didn't like about it. It just, I guess the fact that it ended, I wanted to see more of it, but I want to see more of stuff with this character. But he had an arc, and
a
I can see
satisfying conclusion for you.
Yeah, I can see that because this character has some certain flaws that he's dealing with as he goes through this book, and then these flaws are resolved in a number of ways, in a few ways, by the end of it. So seeing more adventures from this guy without that as a narrative, I won't say crutch, a narrative distinguisher.
Mm-hmm.
Without that, I don't know if I would find that as engaging or as interesting. I think this story was, and again, I keep going back to the Image saying, they know when to keep a series running and when to end stuff. Now, I take issue with Chew, but like I said,
that an issue too.
I'm just saying. I mean, it's been a big seller, and why ignore money? Why leave it on the table? You know,
I almost guarantee that when this was pitched to Image, they're like, "Hey, we can tell this shit in 8 issues." And Image was like, "Oh, you can get in and tell your story and get out." Sold.
There you go.
Sold.
I think that's what we need to. I think we probably need to collaborate on something. You're writing comics. I'm writing comics.
We probably should collaborate on something this, sir.
We should.
If only there was 78 hours in a day.
Well, we can squeeze something. I mean, it's. Have you heard of the Berserk anime manga series? Mm-hmm. You've heard about the Behelit.
Yes.
It is the egg of the king.
Yes.
It requires sacrifice. You cannot reach the dream without making a sacrifice. So we're going to have to sacrifice something. And speaking of sacrificing things, I think this is a great time to segue into our weight challenge. Our weight loss challenge.
Now,
you didn't know where I was going with it. He was like, it's Dave. This is Ninja Dave. I don't know what's going on with this guy.
Was that planned, or did you just pull that out of your ass?
I just pulled it out of my head.
I kind of figured you did. The seed
this is the seed. This is how improv works.
It's pretty much how improv
works. It's just yes and.
Yes and.
Yes and. Yeah.
So with the Seed Ninja Dave weight loss challenge, man. How did we talked about this a little bit offline? How do you want to approach the Ninja Dave and Seed weight loss challenge?
Well, I think we both have enough self-loathing, so I think we can't really throw it at each other because we need to hold on to that to power through this thing.
True.
You talked about. Losing 20? Well, you told me as much as possible.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I could do 10, 15, maybe 20. This is we're going all. I mean, we're 8 letters in now. We have 40 more letters. I don't know how this alphabet thing works. Do we want to try to get hit some benchmarks? As by the time we hit M.
Yeah, I think that's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. I don't know what letter do we want to end our weight loss challenge on. It can't be Z. That's too far out.
That's too far. We need to be able to show some progress.
So we were at this H.
We're at H now. IJKLM.
IJKLM. That's 10 weeks right there.
That's 10 weeks. Can we do it in 10? Can we drop some weight in 10 weeks? I mean, professional boxers do it.
So why can't we do it? Professional boxers do it. Why can't we?
That's my thinking about everything. Okay. That's how I approach life.
Okay, then.
Hey, professional boxers can do it. Let me backhand this hoe too.
All right then. So does M work? So is the M the finale? Then do we want to end it at M?
No, I think we should do a check-in. And,
okay.
Be like, hey,
so
here's where we are.
Checking at it. You don't want to end it at M.
No. Check-in because we want to. You said you want to keep losing weight, so let's just let that be part of the journey.
I mean, I can lose all mine by M though.
Well, you can't lose all of it because then you wouldn't be around to host.
Yeah.
Who's going to host with me if you're?
I mean, I can do 20 in a month or so.
If you're a specter.
Sir, 20 pounds would not make me a specter at all. Yeah, that would make me a normal sized man.
All right, so by M, let's say, you said you wanted to drop, you said you think you can drop 20 pounds by the time we hit M.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've done 20 in 3 weeks before. Probably not the most healthy way to lose weight.
Well, I want you to be. I just want you to stick with us.
But yeah, it can be.
So
but 10 weeks should be more than enough time.
Yeah.
To drop weight.
All right. So what are we wagering here?
All right. So I figured this is a podcast about comic books.
And if we're stopping, you know what? I'm almost willing to do a little thing here as well. Mm-hmm. I've already bought my I think it was $80, $100. The hardcover for the Metabarons series. Mm-hmm. Should I just give that to you if you?
No. That's yours, sir. First of all, Metabarons is just you. I bought the joints. I haven't. What if I read it and don't like it? Then I'm not gonna want it.
Well, that's true, but. You're gonna like it.
Okay, you probably should have said that Human Target.
Human Target was it was a gamble.
Okay.
It was a gamble. I didn't know you didn't like reading things. But Metabarons is gonna have you hook, line, and sinker.
Okay, then. I propose that we pick as a prize. Whoever loses the most amount of weight be gifted by the loser, quote unquote, a trade of their choice to a certain price limit.
A trade a certain price limit. Okay. Fair enough, I can do that. I could also do this. How about this? Because there are some books that we've been reading through here that I've had my eyes on. Be like, hey, Daryl recommended this book. I read this book and I enjoyed it, and I haven't added it to my collection yet.
Oh, like further readings?
Yeah, okay. or further, or just like, hey, here's volume 1. Maybe I could be like, hey, here are these books that I like that you did.
I got it.
And so what you got?
So you like Descender?
Yeah.
Descender Book 1 is in a nice, lovely hardcover for you hardcover fans. I think that's something you would enjoy. So we put up Descender Book 1 versus Saga Book 2, because I already have Saga Book 1.
Now you have the giant hardcover?
I have the giant hardcover Saga Book 1, but
okay.
I don't have Book 2 yet.
Yeah, I saw Book 2 at
Heroes. I saw it the other day.
No, I saw it at Comic Girl Coffee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then
Have
I
you been there
never
yet?
stepped foot in that place. Not again.
Why not?
I stepped foot and I was like, this selection is shit. And I turned around and I walked out.
Comic Girl Coffee?
Yes.
When they were in Noda?
No.
Oh, you went to the Get Some Game location.
Yes.
Well, I mean, they're a small mom and pop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pop, mom.
Yeah. Pop,
non-gender specific
Yes.
place. So I mean, it's a cool stuff, and they do have good stuff. And I did see Book 2 in there. If I get Saga Book 2, it's going to come from Comic Girl Coffee.
All right, that's fair. I don't care where you get it from.
Right.
So what we need to do is, it's Descender Book 1 up against Saga Book 2. So we need to do an initial weigh-in to get our now weights. I don't have a fucking scale.
Where do you have a scale?
I don't have a scale.
Well, how we just guesstimate it?
I'm 532 pounds right now.
Right now. No, I have weighed myself recently, and I'm at. I'll be generous. I'm at 205 right now.
205. That's nice. That's nice. I'm trying to get down to 205.
Yeah, what are you right now?
Last I checked, I was in the high 20s, I think.
220?
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to work out together sometime as well? Go running?
Hell no.
Sit on the couch and think about running?
See, that's what
that burns calories.
I had 2 jobs. And I'm also juggling with 3 different podcasts. So for me, going to the gym is whenever I get a chance. So I don't want to beholden you to. If Planet Fitness 24 hours, I might roll up in that bitch at 10:30 p.m.
I'm just saying, you got an extra, you got a guest pass, whatever. Like, hey, Dave, I'm about to go in 30 minutes. You want to meet me over there? Let's get this squat game, squat life. Just let me know.
There you go.
Let me know.
All right.
Whatever.
So that is the ABC's weight loss challenge, man.
Weight loss challenge by M, where we're gonna meet our target of dropping 20 pounds.
Okay. Yep. So it's gonna be who loses the most. Is that we're going for?
It's gonna be who loses the most by that time.
So in the 2 weeks from now's episode, we should be able to say this is my weight. That'll be our upfront weight.
Okay.
And that'll be on the record. And then we get to M's. Figure this whole business out.
And we gotta somehow triangulate this, plot this on the Gomez graphic.
Oh yeah. Oh man, we haven't checked in our woman in the East. Yeah. Alicia Gomez.
Alicia, she's our number one fan. I'm not afraid to say it. She's our number one fan, and we haven't forgotten about you, even though we forget to do the Gomez graphic. And apparently, I said that I would do the Gomez graphic and type up all this stuff.
I did edit that in. I'm not sure if you heard that.
I'm a horrible human being. I'm just going to say that Daryl made me forget.
Yeah. We need to if you get on Paprika, however you listen to podcasts, preferably on iTunes. Hit that subscribe button. Mash it if you've never subscribed before. Give us a little rating review of all the shows on the Paprika Network. This is the only one. Check us out, man. Check out the other shows and let us know what you do or don't like about all the shows, specifically ABCs and TPBs. Man, hop in the Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/Paprika POPRIKA podcast. Boom. I think that's it, sir.
I think it is.
So
it's been a great episode. I look forward to
the eyes should be interesting.
Moving my face all over my copy of Descender.
Probably won't happen. But yeah, again, it'll be lovely to finally put Volume 2 right next to Volume 1, which means I now have to stop myself if I see it on sale at Heroes Con next month,
You're gonna have
I have
to-
to stop myself from buying because I know I'm going to get it for free.
I know. Well, hey, dreams, miracles can happen. I've signed you up for the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
I just want to meet
So
Mr. Dave.
What is your issue, little boy? Well, I have terminal insanity. I went to see Han Solo, a Star Wars movie, and liked it.
Definitely liked it.
Did you like it?
Loved it, man.
Okay.
It gave me it's exactly what it says.
You did. Yeah, see, insanity. But no, I haven't seen it yet, and don't plan to unless it gets me on some media where I'm sitting here watching YouTube or whatever, and then Netflix assaults me with, "Hey, Solo's out." I'm like, well, you know what? I'll try it in a day or two.
Yeah, but you're not a Star Wars dude, though.
I used to be.
But you're not a Star Wars dude, though.
I used to be.
But you're not right now. Used to be implies that you are not anymore.
But there's a reason.
Okay. All right, then. Yeah.
You want to know what the reasons are?
What's the reasons?
Rogue One.
Mm-hmm.
Episodes 1, 2, and 3. What else have they ruined? Star Wars. Those filler episodes, which comprises mostly all the episodes of Star Wars Rebels.
Okay.
I'll go with that. In parts, that casino scene in The Last Jedi.
That's what did it for you, huh? Casino scene.
I mean, that was out. It was with watching that scene. It made me feel like I was watching Episode 1 again. I was like, I think I'm done being a Star Wars fan.
All right, that's fair.
By the end of the movie, I was like, you know what? I'll see the next one comes out. I'm not wild about seeing Solo.
Yeah.
And I've maintained that.
All right. Well, there you go.
You know what I won't maintain, listeners? This weight. Tune in. Stay tuned. See how much weight we're going to drop week to week or bi-weekly.
There you go. We'll check in. I'll be trying to fudge no numbers. I want you standing on a scale and a photo of the number on the scale.
Okay.
For honesty's sake.
For honesty's sake?
All right, then.
And where are you going to get your... We're going to have the weigh-ins here or at my place, so I guess...
Yeah, do we need one official weigh-in scale?
One official weigh-in scale.
All right, then.
All right. I'll pick one up.
Well, you gonna pick
maybe a digital one. Maybe something nice.
Yeah, we're going to try to balance beam that joint. Yeah,
maybe you gotta reset the tear, you know? I see you have this huge... this flagon of mead and this tankard with... for accuracy.
All right, then. Sounds like a plan.
Let's do it.
Till then,
gentlemen, shake.
Hey!
You hear the heat. I'm already burning more calories than he is. I can feel it.
I don't think that's true.
Feel it.
I don't think it's true. All right, then we will be back in 2 weeks with the eyes. You want to preview what your eye going to be, sir?
You know, I am going to preview what my eye is going to be. It's good. It's a little gem by Robert Kirkman.
Bobby K.
Called Invincible.
Mm-hmm.
And what about you, good sir?
I got a little joint. Here it is right here by Gabriel Hardman. Little image. We're doing double image duty.
Double image.
Next week coming up.
The double eyes for the double eyes.
For the double eyes. Called...
It makes sense because we're both full-eyed.
Yes. Yeah, sure. Called Invisible Republic.
Invisible Republic.
Yes, sir.
You want to give us a preview?
No.
All right.
They get it next week.
You know what? Maybe if they tune in.
Tune in next time.
Actually, they won't hear this within the 2 weeks. So by the time we record the next one, then we'll already be ahead, so they can't actually get a jump on what we're doing unless they're just whatever.
With that being said,
with that random ramble,
you guys take it easy.
Be good. If you can't be good, be evil.